So I'm going to tell you what happened to me a little over a year ago when they tried to kidnap me. So I live in the countryside in a very quiet little village where nothing had ever happened to me in several years. So when I learned of my cat's death, I went for a walk, even though it was really dark, just to get things off my mind. I walked along enough to reach the book box in the village next door. The two are separated by a rather long road with a football stadium on one side and a large field on the other. Near the stadium, there was also my old primary school with a small parking lot. I had all my senses that told me to leave and not to move forward, but I rationalized as much as possible because I had nothing concrete. If you forgot, it was nighttime and I had a field on both sides of the road. The problem is that a white van, a little dented, was parked in the parking lot of the school. The van was parked in front of me, straight ahead. I looked in the reflection of the rearview mirror if there was anyone inside, but absolutely no one. The seat was empty. So I continued to move forward, reassured to stop. Again, very quickly, a voice began to speak. Right away, I told myself that young people should be going to play night football. Strange, but why not on the stadium? I'm still moving forward a little, but a little laugh has finished making me turn around. It was a very nervous, very tight laugh, which scared me very much. So I turned around, even if I'm still convinced that everything is fine, and I joined the roundabout before this main road between the two villages. To situate you a little in this place, this roundabout had about two other branches of road that went off of it. A very bright one that led to the old village and houses, and another between two fields without any lighting that led to the high school. Few people know this, but the two are connected by a small road known just by the locals. I arrive at this junction, the parking lot of the primary school out of sight, when I hear an engine starting. I really start freaking out very much, and I immediately head to the road between two fields leading to the high school. It may seem completely illogical, but it was the fastest way home, and at that time, and in the end, it probably what had saved me. Turning around to the sound of the engine, I see the van sinking into the other illuminated path. It had only one functional headlight, so it was impossible to confuse with another car. I immediately made the connection with the voice, the laughter, and my horrible pre-feeling. He had hidden his van so that I would not see him, so that I would not be afraid to continue to advance between the football field and the other field, where I had no escape. When I turned around, he had waited a bit so that I wouldn't start running or panic right away, no doubt. Since no one else would known the branch I took, he'd missed me, but unfortunately, it doesn't stop there. Completely panicked, I call my father, who lived a 20-minute walk away, telling him that a van is following me, and he tells me that he arrives immediately after I told him that I was ready at the high school for him. I arrived at the end of the road, running like I never had before, and in front of the high school, well lit. But I fall in front of the van, which had cut by the small unknown road to join me. I continued to run, absolutely wanting to go to my house, but I quickly realized that my best chance was to wait for my father near the high school so that he could find me easily. I had him still on the phone. I was yelling at him to hurry. I really lost my temper when I saw the van park right in front of me in the parking lot of the high school. He had put his headlights in full alignment with my eyes, so I didn't see a black figure when he came out. Behind me there were houses with gardens, but I did not even think of jumping the gates. On the other hand, a civilian car arrived. The figure stopped advancing towards me. I shouted at the car, not being able to see him because of the headlights. I absolutely wanted him to help me. He must have been afraid of this kid shouting at him in the middle of the night, because he went home, carefully closing his electric gate behind him. I turned back to the van to see the man running towards me. A road and a small hedge of bush separated us, So to say nothing at all, in despair I shouted at him that my father was coming, that I had called him. The man was about to pass the bush hedge when my father's car blocked his way. My father did not pay attention to him at all. He opened the door to me completely in tears. I burst into tears too. I was completely in shock by what had just happened. Within minutes, my dad wanted to turn around to find the guy. But when I turned back around to look at the high school, he was already back in his van and drove away. I never heard from him again, even though we went to see the police the next day. So it ended well. Otherwise, it would have been complicated to tell you all of this. But I'm very afraid to go out at night now, even just for the garbage. I have a big fear of vans and cars with a single headlight when I come across them. I posted this for my little sister, super fan of the horror threads, who thought that my story deserved to be on Reddit. So here it is. Hi, my name is Sherilyn. I am 23 years old. This happened to me about 2 weeks ago when I came home from work at 6 p.m. I work in a DIY store. Tonight I was not going home but going to my boyfriend's, who lives in the city next to mine. My boyfriend lives near Lausanne in Switzerland, and so I leave my job at 6 p.m. to arrive at the station around 6:30 p.m. I wanted to go to the store to buy food for the evening, knowing that my boyfriend did not return to his house until 9 p.m. because he works in security. So I do my shopping quietly and quickly, and I have to go to the bathroom suddenly. I'm looking for the sign. I see that they're on the first floor of the parking lot. I finish my shopping. Finally, I arrive at the first floor. But as I was walking to the bathroom, I heard a noise, knowing that I don't have music in my headphones. I didn't feel alarmed, except that I tell myself that either it is another lady who has came next to me in the stalls. After a few seconds, I look at my feet because I saw something move, and I see a hand and a phone that passes under the door. Panicked, I crush the hand of the person, open my door, and I run away from this place, while I wait again for the elevator. But I thought it would take way too long, so I decided to climb the stairs trying to call my boyfriend, but obviously he does not answer. I arrive at the top completely exhausted because cardio is way too much for me. I leave the store and start running towards my friend's house, but I tell myself the person that if I run back to my house, he'll know where I live. I arrive at the crossroads, and I'm supposed to turn. I go right instead of going left. On the left is where my friend lives. I run and run and run until 3 streets further, I'm at the mother of my boyfriend's, where I hide until 9 p.m. And as soon as my boyfriend finishes work, I called him, and then we went home together. Here is my story. I admit that even now I do not know why someone would do that to me. I don't know if this was a guy, but all I know is I'm not going back to that bathroom ever again. Hello, my name is Alexis. My story is very short. It happened 1 year ago, but I remember perfectly what happened. So, let me tell you. I was getting off the bus to my school, about a 10-minute walk, and I came across a guy walking strangely like he was drunk. He was in front of me, but he walks in the opposite direction from where I am going. In simple, he walks towards me. He has a hood and a cap placed down so I can't see his face. As in many threads, I have this bad feeling that tells me to get away from him. So I'm looking for a solution so I don't have to have conflict with him. But thinking about it, he's 3 minutes away from me. He said to me, "Hi, kid," with a perfectly perfect voice. I am amazed, and I tell myself that he is not drunk. But I wonder then, how does it make it work like this? especially with how he was walking. I passed by him. Everything went well, but I continued on my way. After walking extremely quickly, 50 meters, I turn around and there the guy is following me. So I run to my school because there are only 50 meters left, and I thought I was safe. I walk into the building, look out the window, and right outside the school, the guy shouts, "They will think you're lying, and I am going to get you." The students who come back are shocked. I am shocked. Since that day, I have found a shortcut to school, so I take it every day now. Thank you for reading and paying attention to my story.